welcome to a special edition of the Doomsday Podcast. Look at this, we got one of the great golfers in the world, certainly one of the great pass rushers in NFL history, Hall of Famer DeMarcus Ware, joining us here at the NorthPark location.
Yes.
Travis Mathew, brand new store, got ping pong tables. I think Matt says he can take you in ping pong. I'll take you in shuffleboard. Now the Cowboys are having OTAs.
Yes, they are.
And CeeDee Lamb's not there. And Micah Parsons is not there, and we're not there. And I feel pretty good about that.
We're here. We're at Travis Mathew.
Yeah, we're at Travis Mathew.
We're more relaxed today right now.
So you, I think the big thing this offseason for the Cowboys has been the hiring of a guy you know pretty well to be the defensive coordinator, Mike Zimmer. You began your Hall of Fame career under Mike Zimmer. How would you describe his coaching style?
Mike Zimmer. I remember when I first came to the Dallas Cowboys, he was a defensive coach there at the time, and it was one of the strictest but most dominating ways to get the guys to bring out their true character in the player, right? And he meticulously goes through the corners, the linebackers, the defensive ends, and brings out the best in the players from his scheme. It's not, hey, I just need for you to fit my scheme. My scheme is going to fit around the players that are around and playing right then, and he brings out the best in them.
So when you saw that move made,
yes,
did you give it kind of a fist bump?
No,
like
it wasn't
because I just wonder, with Dan Quinn, they accomplished a lot.
Yeah, they did.
And got a lot of turnovers. But I'm sort of curious what you thought.
They won a lot of games.
They did.
On defense.
As you may have heard, the playoffs seemed to be a bit of an issue. What did you think about that transition, and what do you think this will do from the Dan Quinn? Which, again, a lot of good things, but there's hopefully this will maybe get them over the hump.
Yeah, Dan Quinn was a great coach. We all see that. I mean, they won a lot of games. They played, really well. But when you have a coach like Mike Zimmer come in and bring in, I think, an extra edge that we need. We can play well during the season, but it's the postseason when you really have to turn up. And that's how, and I've learned from Mike Zimmer, from OTAs, the mini camp, the training camps, he turns up the first day and it doesn't turn off. And that's what we need coming into the Dallas Cowboys, because we're still like a little bit of a younger team. We get the glitz and glamour during the season, and then the postseason hits. It's like, oh, we got this. No, not with Mike Zimmer. It's going to be like, okay, we won all these games. This is our first game. We're starting all back over. Let's dial in. Let's win in the playoffs.
Was he really tough on you early on, or did he not really have to be? Because he's told us he can put his arm around certain players. Ed and I had not witnessed that. But what was he? What was he like?
Right. Yes, he can. He was on me the whole time. The whole time I was there with Zimmer. It was, okay, DeMarcus, I know how great you are. I know you're a great player, but what have you done for me lately? I have forgotten about the OTAs, what you did. I forgot about the mini camps, the training camps. I forgot about the season. So what are you going to do for me this game? And it was living in the now moment. And he doesn't think about the past. He doesn't think about the future. What are you doing right now? And he was always on me right then. And so that's what I liked as a player, because I remember when Bill Parcells, playing with Bill Parcells, they were like, if he doesn't talk to you, you doesn't mean anything to him. And with Zimmer, it was every day, and he was on it.
And I think it'll be interesting to see. Darren Woodson says the players are in for a culture shock.
They are.
It's not going to be a country club. It's not good old boys. There's going to be real accountability, and there might be an occasional cleat in the rear end.
A cleat or a cuss word from time to time. I know exactly the word. I can hear it coming out over and over again to those guys. Yeah, exactly. Everybody knows. But with Zimmer, the atmosphere of the Cowboys are going to change, not just from the practice field and the games. It's going to change in the locker room, and from who's leading what, who's having ownership over the team, and what are we doing on our spare time. We're not playing pool. We're not playing arcade games. We're not getting haircuts. we're studying film. And everybody is in there at the same time. We might have a donut from time to time, but it's all about football when it comes to Zimmer.
Was Wade, though?
Wade Phillips.
Wade Phillips.
Yes.
He
That
was
was a
good
different
for you,
approach.
though, because it was, you talk about a culture shock.
Yeah,
He
it
was
was
a
totally
different,
different, totally
sort of
different.
grandfatherly, but he also had a vision for you.
Yeah.
And so it was like you had the best of both worlds, right? You had somebody on you early, and then you had somebody who was maybe
More relaxed.
Yes.
Yes. So with Zimmer, he was on me early, and during the games, he didn't say anything to me. Totally flipped, black and white with Wade. He was more of a player's coach when it came to, I'm going to groom you on the field, but one thing about Wade, he really turned up during the football games. That's when you really saw Wade. In the meetings, hey guys, this is what we need to do. But on the field, he was coaching during the games. A lot of coaches don't coach during the games. He's on the sideline. Usually coaches are in the booth. And he's like, hey, this is what we need to do. This is how we need to work it. I'm on the field. What do we need to change right now to benefit us? And that was one thing that was really cool about Wade because it was an ongoing thing.
We're going to take a little walk around the
Let's do
store
it.
here in a
Let's
second,
do it.
but
There's
I
a
want to
lot
ask
of
one
nice
more
stuff
thing
in here.
before we move, and that is the approach Jerry Jones has taken to this offseason. Hasn't signed Dak to the lucrative extension, might force the quarterback to play the final year of his contract. Hasn't signed his head coach, Mike McCarthy, to an extension, might make him coach the final year of his contract. What kind of urgency or what kind of effect do you think that'll have on everybody if that winds up being the outcome?
All of the fans for the Dallas Cowboys been asking for change, but when change happens, they can't accept it. So, for all the Dallas Cowboys fans out there, we didn't go and draft the best running back. We didn't go and draft the best quarterback or whatever position it was. It was like, let's change the atmosphere with what we have and see where we can go from here. We're going to get players here and there, but at the end of the day, when you have the best 11 working together, they can't be stopped. It's not about the highest draft pick or the names that you can add on to it. So we asked for a lot of change, and we're getting it. Can we accept it?
You know what? There's an athlete in the Travis Mathew family that has his own line. An NFL player.
Yeah,
Wow.
who's that? Yeah, is
Yeah.
it Reggie?
Yeah, Reggie
Yeah.
Bush.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
go take a look at what he's got.
Yeah, let's
right,
see
right over
what's
here.
up. Yeah,
I
I've
think
seen
you
that guy
have,
at
you
the
have, you
Saints.
have
I
a
remember
memory from New Orleans.
Oh my God!
I think
that
you have
was 2009. That was a game to where I shouldn't have played. And
Neck injury?
Yeah, neck injury, and I actually laid on the field paralyzed the game before, and everybody was raving about Reggie Bush, how amazing player he was. They were 13-0. There was no way the Dallas Cowboys was going to go out there and win against the Saints that year. And I remember walking into, what is that? What dome is that?
Superdome?
The Superdome.
Mercedes-Benz
Yeah,
Superdome.
Mercedes-Benz Superdome. But they were 13-0, and I wasn't going to play because I was laid on the field paralyzed the week before. And I went out there and I tried on the pads. And the rest was history. 2 sacks later, 2 forced fumbles. We ended up winning that game. I think they won the Super Bowl that year. But Reggie Bush was one of the guys that was a catalyst for that team. Phenomenal player. And both of us now are really getting into the golf game. It's a whole new deal. It still reminds me of football, the way you have to think about 1,000 things at one time. But you don't use as much as your body, and I don't have to put the.
And look at this body.
Yes, sir.
I mean,
Ed,
my
Ed,
gosh.
easy.
I got the clean gear on.
Ed, control yourself. Yeah.
I got the camouflage on today.
Yeah.
I think this is Reggie Bush's line here because I'm about to go to war. Not today, but later on in a couple tournaments that we're going to go to.
where are you in your golf game?
I'll shoot 82. I can shoot 82, 83 consistently. I'm trying to break 80, and that goes.
Has it
down.
happened yet?
No. I need to do it in Tahoe, though. I need to do
The
it in
Celebrity
Tahoe.
Golf
Yes,
Challenge.
the Celebrity
Yeah.
Golf Challenge.
That's the big televised one
Yes.
where all the great quarterbacks and coaches
Oh, man.
play. You got your John Smoltzes out there. Tony Romo's won it.
Yes.
Took him a while, but he
It
finally
did,
won
yeah.
that.
There's a lot of great players out there.
I'm not going to bust on Romo. What are you looking at me like that for?
I thought he was getting ready to.
These two guys are here. There is something else. I've been knowing these two guys for a really long time.
It has been a
We
while.
have a lot of memories together.
Yeah.
And we keep making memories.
Mostly good.
You know what I
Mostly
like about
positive.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
So Mosley is actually the guy who introduced me to Travis Mathew's
Okay.
clothing line a long time ago. I think his mom bought him a shirt for his birthday or something.
Probably.
Anyway,
Is that the shirt?
I
Yeah. No, this is
admired it.
new.
He was telling me all about it. So I've really gotten into the brand, and it's pretty much all I wear. Like,
Yeah.
not just for golf. I play golf too. I have broken 80 a few times, not very many. But I
Rub it in,
wear
rub it in, rub it in,
I
yeah.
wear Travis. You know what else? It's a lifestyle line
Yeah,
because
it is.
I wear the slacks like Mosley has on. I mean, they fit me a little better than that. But the open to close, I have it like 4 colors. I put on a sport coat. I wear it to my
Yeah.
Cowboys game assignment
Yeah.
on Sunday
Yeah.
at the stadium. Or put on the shorts, wear them at training camp, when you're out there in Southern California.
Yeah,
So-
and that's what this brand really is bringing to, I would say, the new age of how we wear our clothes. When you want to go out, I can get formal. When I want to go golfing, I can put that on too. When I'm working out, I can put on a tank with shorts. So there is nothing that the
Yeah.
Travis Mathews brand isn't bringing to the game. And it's all about the equipment.
Yeah.
They have all the equipment for whatever game you want to be in or whatever situation you want to be in lifestyle. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm here right now. I think this is the mothership is what they call it.
This is
Right
nice.
here in North
Here in
Huge
North
store.
Park.
Dallas.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yes. Huge store in
there's-
North Park Mall.
Got the women's line.
Yeah, the women's line. Let's walk around a little bit.
Okay,
let's,
yeah.
let's walk around
All
a little
right,
bit.
yeah, I mean, I think you've got somebody with you in your entourage who's
Yes.
trying on a few
This
things.
is-
my wife is here.
This may be the most expensive thing you've ever done.
yes.
The most expensive complimentary podcast you've ever done.
It is.
When you
it
check
costs
out.
a lot of money. When you check out,
Yeah.
the numbers start to roll up a little
I need
bit.
to leave
okay?
before you check
wait,
out.
Wait till it's over before you tell them it's complimentary.
I mean,
Yes.
they got the whole women's side over here, right? Where if you want to go to the beach, there's a beach side. If you want to work out, this is the cloud collection right here. I don't even know. I mean, they got it all set up for us here, and look at this lounge gear, man. You see this? Lounge. That means I'm in the bed. So they got all of that in here. Travis, what are you doing? Are you trying to just take over the whole game right now? I guess you are.
Hey, you got the joggers on.
You know what, man?
People think
Hold
you're
on.
wearing slacks, but you got sunglasses.
I might wear these the whole interview. The whole interview.
You and Mosley.
Me and
This
Mo-
is how I'm most comfortable. I try to go without them. Yes, I may try, but I have to have prescription. Yes, I have to have prescription
Okay,
sunglasses.
all right.
But yeah. Well, you were talking about the tank top. Yeah, that's a scenario I'll
Do you
never.
wear a tank top?
No, it's not something I participate in. But I do love coming in here because the shuffleboard. There's ping pong. There's a lot going on.
Let's
I mean,
each roll one and see who gets closest.
Okay.
I don't think we call
But
it rolling,
just think
but
about it. I mean, this is a whole lifestyle brand, though. Seriously, where you got ping pong, you got lounge gear, you got workout gear, you got gear that I can go wear to dinner, or I don't know who this guy is right here. That doesn't look like any one of us.
Nah.
But that's the dad bod. You see him?
That look like me.
They even got him.
I don't look like that at all.
You see that? Right.
That's
Let's do it.
good.
Let's do it.
That's good.
Let's see what you got.
All right, whoever's closest to the edge, huh?
Whoever's closest to the edge. Oh no, you
Stay
already
up,
lost.
stay up, stay
You
up.
can't even stay on.
Oh,
the
it's
track.
on. It's on.
Hold on. I'll show y'all how to do this, right?
Oh, you
Knock
knocked
you
me
off.
off.
no.
Oh!
All right, nice.
You got to take him out.
All right, you and I.
You got to take him out. That's your only hope.
Competitor right
You can't
here.
get closer to the edge, so you got to knock him off.
I'm
Yeah,
on the
DeMarcus-
And I'm
edge.
kind of protecting him.
Mark
gonna
and
just-
I are
just
both
come
from
on
like
this side. Come on
country
this side.
areas. We've kind of grown up on this.
No
It's too
chance.
slow.
No chance.
I'm proud to finish second after that.
No chance.
All right,
One more.
one more shot. You can't get close. Oh, he got you this time. Nope,
Oh,
just
no
missed.
chance.
No.
Just missed.
No.
When you're good, you're good. One and done.
So you
One
probably
and
don't. You
done.
probably don't want to do it again.
I don't want to do it again. Now, Super Bowl, yes. Something around there. Winning the Tahoe tournament, yes. At least one time, but
What do you remember about Greg Ellis when you first?
Because he's on the coaching staff now.
He's
Yes,
now on
yes.
the coaching staff. And I remember him having a little contract stuff. But even when he was having that, which is about the time you showed up, I think he was still being helpful, right?
Yes. So when I first got to the Dallas Cowboys, Greg was the guy that took me under his wing, that taught me. At the time, he was like, DeMarcus, I'm not as fast as you, but I'm going to think better than you will because of my maturity and things that I went through experiences. And I want to teach you how to use your hands. Like, you're really fast and athletic, but as you get later on in your career, you're going to learn how to do hand-to-hand combat. And so I'm like, hand-to-hand combat?
Yeah.
And so he was like, let me take you to my mixed martial arts class. And so we get into class, and there's Greg, and there's a guy named Valentine in there, and we started like boxing. In the first round, I said, are you kidding me? He was like, yeah, we have 8 more rounds of this. This is going to teach you endurance as you start playing the game. And so during the game, I never got tired, but I always wanted the guys, because it was self-defense classes, to try to punch me because offensive linemen are taught to punch. And I would just redirect everything, and they hated it. And so I got really good from what Greg taught me, the hand-to-hand combat.
Well, that's what Zimmer told us last week,
Yeah.
right? He said he's the best guy he's ever coached at using his hands.
My God. Greg, we call him the side scissors. He used to side scissor every guy. In the long run, he taught me that, and that was the move I used my whole career. No matter what, guys knew that I was going to do it, but they just couldn't stop it.
And that's what Micah Parsons is apparently working on,
and Micah Parsons
right now.
working
How
on
much
the same
will that,
thing.
do you think,
That's
help
going to
him?
help him out a lot because he can dip and rip lower than anybody that I know, like a Von Miller. But he has the power, the upper body strength to be able to push those tackles back, so now he can get even further up under if they overset or underset him. So that's another arsenal that he can add to his toolbox. And the sky's the limit for Micah, and I always tell him during the off season, put more tools in your toolbox, because during the season you don't know who that's going to work against. They're used to seeing you doing the same thing over and over again. Yes, effective, but you gotta
Bring
throw
something
the
new every
curveball
year.
every once in a while, just to keep them honest.
You glad you didn't have all that social media from most of, I mean, I guess it was there, but you weren't like a huge Twitter. I mean, he gets caught up in some of that from time to time, and maybe it fuels certain
He has
players.
his own podcast.
He does have his own podcast.
Doesn't do as well as this one, but
Certainly it's not a doomsday level. Yeah.
But I think that the social media is watering down the sort of the image of the players. And the reason why I say that is the players are looking for validations from how many people are following me and a like, and that doesn't equate to anything on the football field. The only thing on the football field that talks is your performance and those pads when they hit each other. And that's what makes you like me. That's what makes you want to talk to me, because of my performance. But sometimes you get lost in the off the field things that can really be a distraction.
you mentioned when you were talking about Micah's pass rush, how low he can get, and that was your trademark, I think.
Yes.
Wade Phillips, I remember him saying, I coached Reggie White, I've coached great players. I've never had a guy who had the bend that DeMarcus does, can get around the edge and get low where the offensive tackle can't block him. How would you describe that, and where does that ability come from?
I think we always talk about being elastic. And we used to run this hoop all the time. I hated it. And it was like, how can you fight gravity when you have 340 pounds on you? And the lower you get, the more leverage you have, and you're able to get around the corner to get to the quarterback. There were times where the offensive lineman would try to punch me. I would get so low, and I don't know how, and I would come around the corner full speed and then gain speed as I get to the quarterback and run through them. And that's what a lot of players have to really get to. And a lot of players that ask me is, DeMarcus, how do you get that bend? And you got to practice it. It's the most mundane, simplest thing, but it got to become part of your arsenal in how you rush, because if you can get that low and be able to apply pressure in the easiest times, that's what it's about.
Well, I remember when you showed up on the scene. Was it that Seattle preseason game?
Yeah, interception.
You're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It was just like, this guy. Yeah. And then the early days of Parcells, that had to be interesting for you.
Yeah.
Just kind of getting to know him and the whole Merriman discussion and everything.
Well, he didn't really like guys from small schools.
He did.
Right?
He did.
No.
I remember him telling me when I first got to the Dallas Cowboys, he said, I don't like rec league players.
Rec league.
And I said, really? And I played a 6 technique, and at the time Merriman he had like 7 sacks. I had 1. He's like, I should have
In the NFL.
In the NFL.
Yeah.
He said, I should have drafted Merriman. I said, I tell you what, Merriman plays a 9 technique, which is the outside technique that, you can rush from the outside, and I can play the run too. He said, I don't think you can do it. And so during the game, I remember this when I really gained the trust of Bill Parcells. I was in a 6 technique, head up the tight end, he released, I went up the field, I got a little pressure, and I was like, let me get outside. And he just said, I knew what that meant. The next play, I got outside, I went and got a sack, and I looked at him like, once I slammed the ground like that, and I looked at him and he was like, from that point on,
You had his respect?
I had his respect. He didn't say anything else to me.
He didn't call you a rec league guy
Nothing,
anymore?
zero.
You're
He
right.
was just like, let this guy just rush the passer. And usually I would drop when I'm flanked out in the slot. Like when Reggie Bush would get out
Oh
there, I
my
had to
gosh.
stick Reggie Bush.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you kidding me?
You can run with Reggie, can't you?
No, I can't. I will tell you that right now at that time. But I would go out there like a Reggie Bush, and he would say, go back in and rush. That's not who you need to be on, which was one of the coolest things because he gained my respect in what I like to do well, and that's rush the passer.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So how does it feel to be a Hall of Famer? And a Ring of Honor member? You're the newest in both categories,
Yeah,
right?
It's one of the coolest things because you see all your hard work get enshrined in a way to where people can look at it and say, he was the best. He did what he needed to do. Even though I didn't win a championship with Dallas Cowboys, he still did it. No matter what environment he was in, he still was able to do it. And there's a lot of phenomenal players out there with lots of stats. When you can tag onto your resume Hall of Fame, that's the GOAT. That's the greatest of all time. When you can tag onto your resume Ring of Honor, there's only like 30, but maybe 30 guys in the Ring of Honor with the Dallas Cowboys, and there have been a lot of phenomenal players here. And you can say, I was the best of the best. Your character and what you brought to the team when I first came here, I wanted to etch my name in the start of Dallas Cowboys. And I did that. And it feels great to now be able to reap that benefit and say, you know what,
Yeah.
I get to talk to guys like you two, and you asking me these questions, and I feel really good about it. Instead of saying, nah, I don't
There's
know,
nothing
maybe
you didn't
next
do.
year.
There's nothing you didn't do.
The induction was one thing, but being on the Doomsday podcast has to feel like
That
of
I think
a mountaintop
that
moment.
just lit up the
Now
star.
there's nothing you didn't
The
do.
Doomsday podcast, now
Yes.
there is nothing I have not done. So my wife is here, my son's here, they're trying on clothes. And
Yeah, they do have kids clothes here, too.
I see the kids' clothes.
First
right
thing
here.
I walked in, my grandson, 9 years old, we're meeting him at the beach, his first beach
Right.
vacation. I'm like, I got to get him some
Right.
stuff.
They got all the gear for your babies, the kids, everybody. But I'm trying on these shoes.
What
right here.
can
I
you do in
usually-
those shoes? Is
What
that,
can I
is
do?
that, yeah, I mean,
I'm
can
walking
you,
in these.
you're just going to kind of kick
I'm
around
walking.
town?
What do you play golf?
I
Okay.
hit a sand trap, every once in a while with these golf shoes on.
Yeah.
But I'm walking in the fairway, not on the fringe. You heard what I just said? I'm
In
in
fairway.
the fairway. These are walking shoes. okay?
Yeah.
Just with a little bit of grip.
Look
I don't
very
need much
comfortable.
Grip.
Yeah.
I don't need much grip.
Yeah.
I'm just walking. This is relaxing. Golf
Yeah.
is a relaxing
I
sport.
mean, I like the Reggie line, but I would like to see a DeMarcus line at some point.
Ooh! What did he say? Say that
I
one
didn't
more
know.
time.
That's right. No, I know. Now I'm acting as your agent.
I think Danny's going to take care of that.
Danny's gonna take care of that. Yes,
Uh-huh.
yes.
And Sterling Chavez, the manager of the store, he's here.
It's
He's
good
probably
to have.
ringing up some customers right now.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
gonna ring us up in a minute. But the
gonna
number's
ring
gonna
us
be
up.
zero. It's gonna be zero, all right, guys? Not 50%, but zero.
I like that.
And there's my wife right here. She's wearing.
Oh, look
she's
at this.
modeling. some clothes.
Oh, wow.
Very
She
nice.
had some baller gear on. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you should.
Yes.
She needs some TM shoes.
You should
Yeah,
get that.
she needs some TM shoes. Yeah, Travis. You hear it. You hear it. Yeah.
No, Ed, we're next to an elite athlete. I don't know if that always.
I'm trying to stay as far away as I
It's
can.
the best thing for us. I was feeling okay about this shirt until you. Yeah.
You look amazing.
Where's
Thank
your
you.
hat? Didn't they
Thank
give you a hat
I
to
wish you
wear?
would have said that years ago.
Where's that hat you were supposed to wear?
Oh man, it's in the back.
It's,
in the
Nick-
back.
Nick
Kind of
Saban.
kind of a Nick Saban look
Nick
that I was going
Saban
to put
line.
on. I mean, he and I have a similar demeanor.
Ooh.
Oh, here we go.
Sterling's brand, bringing it
Yes,
in
put the
here.
shades
Yeah.
on. Put the shades
Yes.
on.
All right.
Put the shades
All
on.
right. Is this right? Is this
Yeah,
correct?
of course. I
Okay.
wouldn't do anything like that to you.
Hold up.
Scrunch it down.
See, people don't understand style, okay? So do you see this right here?
I mean, I think that's obvious.
Do you see the flag underneath here?
Yes.
But see, they don't see the pop of the flag on your shirt.
Ooh,
You see
okay.
that?
The complimentary.
You added it
yeah.
all together, the red, white, and blue with
Yeah.
the hat and the shirt.
What's happened to my
We got
career?
Memorial Day coming up. We got
Memorial Day.
4th of July
Yeah.
coming up.
Yep.
I'll tell you. This is
And you're all set for the holidays now, pal.
This is a big moment. Yes, for sure.
You don't
I
even
think
have, you don't
there's
even
no
have to wear
telling.
sunblock now because
They'll
it's
sit-
gonna
I
I think your
block you.
dermatologist will be very happy with this
yeah.
I
outfit.
can't
Yeah.
imagine how many of these they'll sell now. These will be flying.
That's the
off
only one they
shelf.
have, sorry.
That's
you got the
right.
last one on
I
the
hope
shelf.
they have plenty in stock.
Yes.
All right.
Hey, I want to ask you one more thing, DeMarcus. Maybe
Yeah.
more than one thing, but
I thought we'd finish on that.
We were. That would
never
have been embarrassing for you. I'm trying to help you here. Leaving Dallas at the end of your career, I think the Cowboys thought for what you were making, for the injuries you'd had, that it was just too big a risk for them.
Yeah.
And you got on a plane and went to Denver, and you visited one team, you signed with that team,
Mm-hmm.
and you won a Super Bowl ring with that team, and you could have easily been the MVP of that game.
Yeah.
What was that whole situation like for you to be put in that position where people questioned you for the first time in a very long time,
It
and you
was-
delivered with the greatest team achievement in your career?
It was one of the hardest times of my life because, as you realize, when you're in an environment, that environment makes you because of the things that you become accustomed to. And then once you leave that environment, you're leaving something that's comfortable, which is hard. And I went there to Denver, and everything was like uprooted. I was divorced at the time. My kids are back home. I don't know any of my teammates, but they nominated me as captain. And I'm thinking to myself, D, you still have something in the tank. And I remember Von Miller, locker was right beside mine. And he had these white sleeves on. And he said, DeMarcus, you know why I wear these white sleeves? It's because of you. I wanted to be just like you. And I took Von Miller under my wing and I just poured into Von. I poured into all of my teammates. And that year that we won the Super Bowl, I got to see a year that me and Peyton, we didn't even hardly play. We played maybe 8 games that year. And we came in right at the end because we poured into all the players, but I got to see something that I'd never seen before, to where I used to be like, if I don't do my job, the team suffers. Now I was like, I just need to serve the team, and no matter what happens, we're gonna win. And we just poured into the guys when we weren't even there. And I got to see myself like, it's almost like they poured gas on the fire. And I woke up, and I was like, I still got a lot in the tank. And long story short, we win many games. We beat, I think the Patriots almost, 2 or 3 times that year? The Patriots don't
Beat them
lose
in the
that many
championship
times.
game in Denver, I know,
And we
yeah.
hit Tom Brady like 32 times, the most ever
Yeah.
in a playoff game. And we still almost lost, but we won the Super Bowl because we believed. And I believed at that time, and everybody else believed by putting me as a captain. So that was huge for me. Going somewhere uncomfortable, not with the Dallas Cowboys, and saying, this works. It doesn't matter where you are, you just got to believe.
And Peyton Manning gets a lot of credit for winning that Super Bowl, but it was really the defense the whole year,
It
and
was the
especially in that
defense.
game.
Yeah, it was the
Yeah.
defense, but I remember we were in the locker room and Peyton said one thing to us. He said, I'm not the player that I used to be. I don't know if I'm going to be here next year, but I promise you guys this. Defense, I'm going to get you guys the most rest as possible so you can go and crush Cam Newton. That's what he said. And he said, I'm not going to lose this football game. And I'm not going to score a lot of points. But you guys are going to win this football game for us. And when he said that, coming from Peyton, I know what we need to do. I know exactly what we need to do. And we just went out there, lights out, and just, it was turned on from the first play all the way to the last play. There was nothing else said after that.
And you were up against Cam Newton, who was the league MVP.
League MVP. I think were they 16-0 that year? It was something like 15-1.
Yeah,
it was
good.
something.
Yeah.
And they were the best offensive team.
He had like 45 total touchdowns, passing and rushing, and you guys just incapacitated him.
Every week, every day of the Super Bowl, they were like, hey, have you guys seen what Cam Newton's doing? Have you guys seen what they did this season? And I said, don't you know that we're the #1 defense in the NFL? Have y'all saw what we did to a lot of these offenses? And then it got to a point to where it was like every day we got salt poured on the wound about the other team. So it was just like building. So we were like deer in the headlights when it was time to play.
And like you said, you just beaten Tom Brady and punished him in a way nobody else ever had.
And now we had Cam Newton. We're like, no, we got this. And we also got the sheriff too. And now the sheriff has a deputy on the other side. So let's go get this done.
Man, you're good at this. You need to be on with Eli and Peyton. I mean, that would be.
They just won an Emmy last night.
And Peyton, come on, man. Do you hear this?
Yeah.
Do you hear it?
That would be. I think that would be a tremendous. Did you ever think, by the way, that your buddy Marcus Spears, as you came up with him, like would become a TV star, or did you kind of think that he had that in him?
I knew that off the top. Like me and Marcus Spears came in together, right? He was my roommate.
He was almost picked ahead of you, right? Bill wanted to pick Marcus Spears ahead of you.
Yes.
You would never have been around when they drafted Marcus Spears. You're both first-round picks. But
Yes. Marcus was one of the most talented guys I've ever been around. When it came to talking, convincing, rapping, it didn't matter where you stuck Marcus Spears that he was the light. And now he has an opportunity to go out and do that and do it well. When he first started talking, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
It's gonna be perfect. Come here, MJ. This is my son, MJ. So this is the little baller right here. He's gonna be playing a little golf. I brought him to Travis Matthews to let him know that this is the top golf brand in the whole galaxy. Isn't that right? Say yes. All right.
You are great at using all your resources.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, look, there's
yes.
Kid size.
Yeah. So we're in the kids section. They don't have nothing his size yet, but we're gonna put one on him like a onesie. Okay, so he can go to sleep in like sleep shirt. Okay.
Little camo.
Yeah, a little camo.
The camo.
Just don't try to hide from us, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is awesome,
You could be in the movies. Look at that. Look at that face, MJ. My goodness.
There you go, bud.
Yeah. Well, this has been fun,
Yeah.
and appreciate you doing this and having your family here. That was so much fun. The Doomsday Podcast, and Travis, Mathew, Danny, and Sterling, and the whole gang. This has been a lot of fun. And I'm glad I put Ed on to this brand many, many years ago. That's the dang truth. All right?
Yes.
I was a thinner man back then. It fit better. But now they do have, as you said, kind of a dad bod type clothing line.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is okay. If I sit correctly, this does it,
Sit up nice and straight.
Upright.
Just like suck in a little bit. But this has been a lot of fun. Thank you for doing this.
Anytime you guys want me to come on,
that'd be awesome.
The Doomsday Podcast, yes.
All day.
Should be an interesting Cowboy season.
It will be.
12 wins, 3 years in a row. No team's done that and not made the championship game until the Cowboys did that. So a huge year awaits.
I wonder about that.
What do you mean?
About the 12 winning games.
3 straight years of winning 12 or more games.
12 or more games. Maybe it's one of those things where it needs to be like that 9 and 6, or it's weird how many games they're playing.
17,
But they're right there on the edge, and they have to go and get it. So they have to peak right at the end of the season, and make it almost like Green Bay did.
Yeah.
Your season's all over
You
the
got
place.
to win the last 3.
And you're going to have to win the last 3 to get it, if you want it. And by that time, you peak where you need to peak, and we get to where we need to be. And it's not that storybook season of 16-0 or 12 and I don't know 6. Might be 10-7 or but you got to win a season, but you beat who you need to
Yeah.
beat. And you
That's
got
kind of what the Giants did. They would have those Super Bowls. As
don't talk about
yeah,
that.
I know.
Oh.
I know. I don't want to bring up 2007.
Whoa, don't do that.
Yeah,
Don't do
I'm
that.
sorry.
Don't
He
do
just
that.
said he'd do a show with us anytime we wanted.
Don't
Don't
do
bring that
that.
here.
I know. That feels like the one that got away.
It did.
Yeah, for sure. But you didn't go on that trip.
Oh, my God,
DeMarcus
man.
was not. he
I
was not in Cabo.
I felt
Yes.
it. I felt it. Yes.
Well, thank you very much. It is a very special episode of the Doomsday Podcast. And Ed, would you like to say one last thing about this brand you've come to love so
Always.
much?
I
Would you like
mean, go check my closet. It's really all I have. I mean, for workout, which I use occasionally. Golf, I use far more often. And even for work, it's the best.
We invite you to check out Ed's closet
What are you
in
doing
the
with
next
it?
episode. That is the Doomsday Podcast for DeMarcus Ware, Ed Werder. I'm Matt Mosley. Good night, everybody.
We are Rogue Media Sports.